Are you tired of having too much personal space? Are you sick of privacy and quiet rooms? Introducing the RV lifestyle. The only way to turn your stable relationship into a 300 square foot pressure cooker. Act now, and we'll throw in a lifetime supply of why is this floor wet? And did you dump the black tank?
Can you talk quieter? I'm trying to read.
Why live in a zip code when you can live in a parking lot?
We're Katie and Brian.
And this is where we live, work, and create all within 300 square feet without calling a lawyer.
Today we're talking about how we coexist in our fifth wheel, which is roughly 300 square feet. So there isn't a whole lot of room to move around. There isn't a whole lot of room to get your own peace of mind sometimes. And these are some tips and tricks on maybe what you could do. When living in a fifth wheel with this little amount of space, it definitely takes a little bit of adjusting at first, whether it be a fifth wheel, a van, a boat. And you kind of need to take a little bit of time to find that ebb and flow of kind of how things go and how things are going to move, you know, what your partner's going to do, like when you're dancing. It does take some time to kind of change environment, you know, even coming from a small apartment where we lived to something like this, you're never alone. You never find that solitude that you could possibly need. Even when somebody's out in the living room and somebody's in the bedroom, if they fart, you're gonna hear it. So figuring out a system that could work for you and kind of get your peace of mind takes a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, and remember to keep a cool head because both of you are going through the same thing.
I've observed that when I don't get my time to myself, I am not in a good place and I explode emotionally. So being on top of getting that time that I need before I emotionally explode is better. But I need to be proactive about it and be an advocate for myself to do that. It takes a little bit of planning and something that would happen naturally with work schedules of going to and from work just don't happen when you work from your ivory with your partner. So those things just need to be planned out as opposed to just naturally happening. And I'm 99% of the time, I'm the one coming to Brian saying I need space. I can't really think of a time that you came to me and you were like, hey, I'm gonna go do a solo mission.
That's because I'm crazy and I'm always in my own head. No.
So when we moved in here, we definitely had to figure out where we could do certain activities because our living room is our den, is our dining room, is our kitchen. So if it's really great and it saves a lot of space, but if you want to do yoga or work on the laptop or do 90% of the stuff, it's all in the same room. So we had to figure out how to navigate that and where we could do activities separately.
When we came into a boat or fifth wheel, we used to both help in the kitchen with cooking, unless it was, you know, I'm taking over and I want to make something my way completely and surprise you. So coming into the RV, it kind of takes one person out of that equation because there really just isn't enough room. Katie has taken over pretty much all of the cooking. One, because she is the master chef in the house.
No.
Yes, it's taken a little bit of an adjustment for me to still feel included in making dinner because that was our special time or one of our special times that we would gather for the day. Realize that I wasn't getting kicked out. I was no longer needed in 6 square feet. So stuff like that, you know, can take a minute. So, but I still cook, you know, some breakfasts. I still get in there, guys.
Yeah, and if I need something cut exactly perfectly even, I still call Brian in for reinforcements because I just kind of chop things to get dinner going. But Brian is definitely the master sous chef of making everything perfectly square.
I love sous chefing. When I do come back here for cooking, I definitely am mindful and just kind of ninja myself as much as I can around her, you know. And when I know that she's reaching or about to start reaching for something, like I dart out of the way like a puppy running out of the kitchen. But that's one of those things that really you learn somebody else, and you learn that flow of just kind of dancing together in the RV as you're passing by, whether it be in the kitchen, in the hallway, all 3 feet of it, you know, or in the common area.
I would also cook with music playing usually when you weren't home. I would blast it and I would usually get into one album and just play that album to death, but I want to be mindful of our space together, so I don't do that as often. So I don't annoy Brian with one album, which I did on the boat, and Brian's like, could you put on anything except for that album, please? And I was like, oh, okay. It was a learning experience for me to realize, like, okay, like that's not okay to do.
It did take me 3 months to get there. As much as you want to rock out, you want to be mindful of the person that you're with, but as much as you want to be mindful of the person you're with, you still want to live and breathe. So I always tell her, rock the F out, man. Like, do it. I will let you know afterwards if it's something I can't handle. Or earphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that album I played incessantly was Tapestry by Carole King. So let me know your thoughts. When you live in a tiny space and in a tiny kitchen, there's tiny amount of room. So you constantly have to clean up your space. That is something that Brian and I have always been pretty good on, and something that helped us downsize to an even smaller space is just not having a lot of stuff. We have 2 small plates, 2 big plates.
Minimize.
Just minimize all of that, so
Yeah.
like you don't need all the extra. Welcome to the poop room! Where all dignity goes away, because these walls are made out of paper, and all sounds escape.
The bathroom dignity is definitely something that I feel should just be already known, you know, but everybody's household is different. But when somebody's in the bathroom, like, I leave them be, like, I ignore what's going on if I'm outside, and I hope the same when I'm in here doing my business. You know, the fart fan, the fan, is an excellent tool to make you feel more comfortable while you're in here. But you don't have to put somebody on blast when they come out of the bathroom. I don't ever do that in my family or my house, so.
So if you're thinking about a van build or truck build, and you're looking at, different types of fans for the bathroom, don't go for a quiet one. It's totally fine to get a cheaper one that makes a lot of noise. In the kitchen, spend more money and get a quieter one, but in the bathroom, a noisier fan isn't really a bad thing. That's from experience of installing quieter fans, and then those people complain.
The bathroom is one of those places that you can kind of get away, you know, or your girlfriend or wife can get away while they do the makeup and, you know, pretty themselves, do their hair. Every woman loves to doll up a little bit for us. Thank you, ladies. You know, it's not really much of a sanctuary or home, but it is one of those places you can get away.
I am invisible. It is my alone time.
The bedroom is one of those places where you can really get alone, or you can really be alone, if you just wrap yourself up in the blankets. Nobody will ever see you. You might sweat to death under there, but it is a place you can be alone. If you've got a good sized bedroom and it's got a door, it's always one of those places you can go to get away from anybody. And with something that is long like a fifth wheel, you know, there's plenty of distance out there for even one person to put headphones on or earphones and earbuds, whatever they're called these days. Sometimes it's just coming in here and laying down for a minute. Kind of gives you that 5 minutes of recollecting yourself, feeling good, and then you go on for an hour walk.
Oh yeah, and I love coming in here when I talk to my girly girls and I don't want to bug Brian out there while he's editing and working on stuff. So I just come in here and shut the door and catch up with my girlies.
Yeah, it's not like I can't hear her, but, it tones it down.
Yeah, cackling is subdued by the door a little bit.
Worst case scenario, you could always just hide in the closet. Being able to find places like this before the cold comes is probably a good idea, because once the cold comes, you're probably not going to want to spend that much time outside, and both of you are going to be stuck inside, which means you have to put up with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's 2:04.
Oh man, we're late for cocktail hour. With normal living situations where you're in a house or an apartment, the conversation is usually pretty passive. People don't have to be on top of each other all the time, and that changes here. So keeping a good line of communication open for us does help squash any type of problem that there could be that arise, I don't know of any problems that arise. Being in a fifth wheel gives you the opportunity to actually sit down at a table or next to each other and talk freely, talk openly, talk immediately.
Checking in with each other and bringing things up when they happen, keeping that line of communication open just makes for a better, more cohesive environment to live in. So Brian and I have lived in small apartments before and a boat before this fifth wheel. So we actually prefer living in smaller spaces. It's less to clean, it's a simpler life. You know where things are for the most part. It does make you more aware of the person that you're living with and of your space. But once you make that change, it's totally worth it. You cut out the crap you don't want and you make room for what you do want, like adventure.
Yeah.
And being able to go anywhere.
Something that you might be concerned about in your relationship and smaller living is, do you feel trapped in your relationship, or is your relationship growing? And I feel that your relationship is going to grow. It might be different than, if you were living in a house and stuff like that. You become more dependent on each other, from hooking up a rig with, the truck to the fifth wheel, or getting dinner made, or making plans on where you're going to go get water. All of these things are conversation and talking. I always say that, talk openly and share your views on where you're going, where you think you want to go.
In a way, you're not just a romantic relationship, you become a coworker in a way, because you have to work together as a team to accomplish tasks. So you may see a side of your partner that you never really saw before because you never saw them at work in their serious game face on. And that might be a little jarring and hard to get used to at first, but you just have to learn that about your partner and work around it and figure out how to use it to your advantage.
It definitely keeps your relationship moving forward, in my opinion. And I think it's for the better, yeah?
Yeah, and you get to see that person under stress in a work-like environment, not just emotionally breaking down after the traumatic thing happened at work, but living through that, oh shit, what do we do with a flat tire? Another thing you can do is realize when you turn on your work mode and when you turn on your relationship mode. So for us in the evening, typically we close the laptops, we dim the lights, and that's our us time. So we know we don't talk about work. We don't strategize about the next video. It's just time to goof around and talk about silly stuff. Or when you're backing up the trailer, you need to just communicate and not talk about lunch. I want to talk about lunch a lot during that time because I'm hungry, but no, we need to back up the trailer first. I don't care about tuna fish.
I always make her back up the trailer before we eat. That way she's got motivation. Because if she damages the trailer while we're backing it up, lunch is going to be even longer from that point in time that we actually get to eat it. So
Yeah, or if we snack and the rig's still hooked up to the truck, I'm like, do we have to level it out? It's level enough, whatever. So, there you have it. Living in an RV in 300 square feet is pretty much like a 24/7 relationship stress test. But we figured it out.
thanks for joining us. Make sure you click like and subscribe. It'll help with this new funky algorithm that YouTube's got going on. We would really appreciate it. And
Next week, I will be sharing my own personal secrets for all the ladies out there that want to know how to just relax and recharge while you're boondocking.
doesn't mean that you guys can't watch. Learn a few things to help out the missus. Do the good thing. Bye, guys.